We start planning our day as soon as we wake up in the morning. Next week, next month might be the whole life. But we do not plan what's after death because we do not know what is death and what will become after death. We have a lot of questions, beliefs, and doubts like what would happen after we die? What happens to our soul? Are ghosts real? Out of all these questions, we're gonna discuss about, do people really suddenly lose about 21 grams after they die? Who started this experiment? Well, the physician Mencken Dagnall tried in the early 20th century by setting up the experiment to discern the weight of the single human soul. His answer? 21 grams. So how did he come to this conclusion? McDougall was obsessed with the idea that the human soul would have some kind of measurable mass that could be measured. McDougall was able to find 6 suitable patients for his study, but only 4 ended up being useful, all of whom were men. As per the other two, one was a woman who is suffering from the diabetic coma and the other was a man with an undisclosed illness. However, neither the result could be counted as the woman died before the accurate measurements could be taken. As for the man, he died within 5 minutes after putting him on the scale, which wasn't enough time for McDougall to balance everything. When the patients looked like they were close to death, their entire bed was placed in an industrial size scale that was sensitive within 2/10 of an ounce. One of the patients lost weight but put the weight back on, and 2 of the other patients registered loss of weight at death, but few minutes later they lost more weight. One of the patients lost 3/4 of an ounce, which is 21.3 grams, coinciding with the time of death. McDougall disagreed with the result of the another patient, saying that the scale was not properly adjusted, and discounted the result of another patient as the patient died while the equipment is being calibrated. However, in these cases, it's much more difficult to determine exactly when the people expire. To quote this paper on the subject, this loss of weight could not be due to evaporation of respiratory moisture and sweat because that has already been determined to go on. In this case, at the ounce of 1/6 ounce per minute, whereas this loss was sudden and large. 3/4 of an ounce in a second. Around the same time, the New York Times got wind of McDougall's experiments and reported on them as well. The story was global news, and even people today continue to cite McDougall's experiment as the definitive proof of the existence of the soul, popularly quoting his 3/4 of an ounce as 21 grams. While McDougall believed that the results from the experiment showed the human soul must have weight, his report, which was not submitted until 1907, stated that the experiment would have been repeated many times before any conclusions would have been drawn. So the conclusion in this experiment is widely regarded as flawed and unscientific due to the small sample size, and also the fact that only one of the 6 subjects. The case has been cited as an example of selective reporting. Despite its rejection within the scientific community, McDougall's experiment popularized the concept that the soul has weight, and specifically that it weighs 21 grams. According to the scientific study after death, at first our organs can survive without oxygen and nutrients for a while. Only gradually the cell division will stop, then the cells die. If too many cells have died, the organs can no longer regenerate. The quickest reaction occurs in the brain, where the cells die within 3 to 5 minutes. The heart can beat up to half an hour. As soon as the blood stops circulating, it sinks and forms dead spots. The gastrointestinal tract only dies after 2 to 3 days. In total, the decomposition process of the human body takes about 30 years. Yes, dead bodies lose a lot of weight over time. That is because of the sweat in the body in the form of moisture gets into air through sweat gland. What makes us lose weight is being eaten, excretion, and evaporation. As per McDougall, he never attempted to replicate the experiment. However, the result of his experiment lives on, and there are still many people who believe that soul has mass of 21 grams. So the conclusion for our question, do we actually lose 21 grams suddenly after our death? Is that the weight of our soul? The answer is yes. We do lose weight, but over time, and it's not being proved that the weight lost in Dagnall's experiment, which is 21 grams, is the weight of human soul, because it's just one result out of 6 patients and it's just considered as hypothesis. That's about today's episode, guys. Please let us know how you felt about this one in the comment box below. We'll see you with another interesting topic in the next video. Like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell icon below.